welcome to another episode of Warhammer 40,000. It's 1850 points and Challenger Scorpion. Bryan Morrow has returned. He's brought his Night Lords along, and they will be fighting the Imperial Fists, a pure Imperial Fist army. It's the older list, but Bryan has been tinkering with his army and has brought along some new models to fight in this game here. Yes, last night was an alliance with the for the Imperial Fists. They had Blood Angel support, but now it's pure Imperial Fists here against Night Lords, so two complete armies. And they'll be fighting here across this green terrain here. The desert terrain is quite lush now, and then areas of jungle quite thick here, with areas of vegetation across the table. Some old tree stumps here just in the middle, some bombed out craters. Not much sign of any civilization around, but it'll be on this terrain that the Night Lords will do battle with the Imperial Fists. Right, so welcome to this 1850 point Challenger Scorpion game. I'm going to run in the Imperial Fists here. It's the older list, hasn't been changed yet, still working on the new models. But we'll try out the army here, see how well it copes against the Night Lords in this game. So, Chaplain Titus here will lead the force. He's got the Primarch's Wrath there, he's in Terminator armor as well. Then standard force organisation here for these, so one Elite's choice, regular Terminators here with Power Fists, Stormbolters. Sergeant has a Power Sword, and then one of the Terminators is carrying an Assault Cannon. Then we have a Mastery Level 2 Librarian. Then for heavy support, it's the Centurion Devastators, Twin-Link Las Cannons and Missile Launchers for them. Then a squadron of Land Speeders. One of them has two multi-melters and the other two at the back have Typhoon Missile Launchers and a multi-melter as well. That's a squadron of 3. Then one Hunter. And then two Storm Talons with Skyhammer missiles and twin-linked assault cannons. And then for troops choice, it's 3 of them, 3 tactical squads. They're all armed the same, all inside Rhinos. So squad of 10 with regular sergeant for them, las cannon and plasma gun. It's the same for all 3 of those. A slight change actually. Brother Australius, Keeper of the Relic, has made it into the force here with his disintegrator gun. He's just there looking for some heroics from him. But other than that, it's exactly the same list. Still working on the new models. We'll see how well they fare against the Night Lords in this game. Right, so Bryan Morrow's come down. He's brought his Night Lords. Again, a different list again. Nice to see different variety each time he comes down. And when you see some of the new models, I'm sure you'll be impressed. He's going to run through his list now.
Okay, so this is my 1850 points of Night Lords. I've taken 2 headquarter choices. We have a Commander and a Jugger with an Axe of Blind Fury. I have taken my converted version of Karn the Betrayer. We then have 4 bikes, Veterans of the Long War with 2 Meltaguns. And then 2 Chaos Cultist units, each 11 man strong. Over on the right, we've then taken a 9-man tactic or Marine squad, tactic Marines, with a Meltagun. They're equipped inside a Rhino and they're Veterans of the Long War. We then have a 9-man Chosen squad with a Meltagun, Flamer, and 3 Power Mauls. Again, they're Veterans of the Long War and they're inside a Rhino. And we finally, in Marines, have a 8-man Marine squad, no upgrades at all. They're equipped inside a Land Raider. And then finally we've taken a Renegade Knight with a Storm Spear rocket pod, a Avenger Gatling cannon and a thermal cannon. And he's equipped with a Meltagun as well. And that's my 1850.
Right, so that's Bryan's list there. Very impressive. And an amazing job there on the Renegade Knight. It'll be fascinating to see how well that does. And also fascinating to see if and how the Imperial Fists deal with that thing on the day. It'll be interesting to see how well they do against that. And then nice conversion here as well. We're going to, I think I'm going to zoom in here and we'll take a closer look at some of these models. Right, so there's Karn the Betrayer. So a conversion work there for one of the Age of Sigmar models, a Slaughter Priest, and then Bryan has added the different parts on top. Where's the head from? Is that the...
From the actual...
Is it? Right, okay. And then the axe?
And that is a Terminator chain axe from Forge World. A few bits
okay.
from the bit box, so...
Yeah, Very, very nice work indeed. So there he is. Nice big model as well, just to represent the size of Khan the Betrayer. Just a close-up view of the Renegade Knight just there. So Bryan's saying that, see the markings here, these are actually brass etchings from Forge World, are they? Yeah, okay. And then the rune markings here you can see along the shoulder pad, just down here as well. Those are from the transfer sheet. But all of those things helping just to make it look that nice Renegade sort of effect. And what about this one here? This
It's just from the standard kit.
Standard kit, okay. So just taking all these little bits help. See the spikes here on the... That's from the Chaos kits, from the same things that come from here on the Rhinos. Yeah, it's the trophy racks. Okay, so very, very nice indeed. Very, very convincing. Definitely looks like a Night Lord's Renegade Knight. Nice job. Right, Bryan's just going to run through his magnetising here. He's been showing off what he's done. So just take it apart, different bits, what you've got there. So that comes off. The front comes off, okay. So you can put the repeater battle cannon on there. That comes off as well. And even the face comes off to the one underneath. We'll just zoom in on that. Yeah, so the mask comes off and you can have that option there as well. That's the great thing about magnetising. Yeah, so excellent job there with the magnetising. I'm definitely paying attention to that because I've got my Imperial Knight to make up and I do want to change the options around, so magnetising definitely seems like a great idea for this model. Right, so the scenario is the Emperor's Will. We haven't played that one for quite a while. It's one objective each. It's worth 3 points. Then it's Dawn of War deployment, and it is night fighting also. So Imperial Fists are at this end of the table. Their objective is just tucked in there. And then Bryan's at the other end of the table. His objective just right in the centre there, just in the crater. So 3 points each. Linebreaker, Slay the Warlord, and First Blood is also available. Imperial Fists are set to go first here. Bryan won the roll-off, but he's going to let the Imperial Fists go first, unless he sees his initiative. So we'll go on to deployment now for both of these forces. Right, so just to cover some extra details here, Strategic Genius for Chaplain Titus, so +1 sees initiative, we won't need that, but reroll reserves. Then for the Librarian, we've gone for Telepathy here, so Psychic Shriek, and then also Hallucination, and then a 5 is Invisibility, so that may well come in very handy for the Imperial Fists in this game. And then personal traits, Immovable Object, so it will not die for the Chaos Lord on the Juggernaut there. So both of us pretty happy with our results there for Warlord traits. We'll go on to deployment now. Imperial Fists will set up first. Alright, so deployment's done here. A bit of a spread across the table from both sides here. Just thinking about units that are going to have to defend and then units that will have to attack as well. Both armies sort of splitting their armies up into those two groups. So for the Imperial Fists here, the Hunter's right out on the extreme left, and then anchoring on the back line. This is the defensive part of the force here. The Librarian with the Centurion Devastators, full tactical squad inside here, then full tactical squad here in this Rhino Brother Australis is with them, and then another one on the extreme right. So a long spread across the table, trying to keep, don't want to cluster our vehicles together. Remember the thermal cannon over there on the Imperial Knight. So just trying to keep our units split up here. So we've deployed first, and then we'll go around the other side to see how Bryan's responded with his Night Lords. So deployment here from the Night Lords. Khan the Betrayer is inside the Land Raider here with the Chaos Space Marines squad anchoring the right hand side. Then Chaos Space Marines here inside the Rhino. And then 2 units of Cultists, simple objective for them. Simple orders have been given just to hold the centre ground. Objective is just right there. Then unit of Chosen inside the Rhino here. Bikers and the Corn Lord and the Juggernaut on the left hand side. So that's the view he has across the table. It's hard to hide him in this terrain, but Bryan's elected to put him on an extreme flank here, getting ready to move around. Okay, so deployment's done. Very even spread ready from both forces across the table. Deep strikers to arrive. We'll just cover those before we kick off here. Okay, interesting here. Bryan has everything on the table. These units are inside their transports, ready to go. With the Imperial Fists, a fair amount to come on from reserve. Deep striking here with the land speeders. Then these 2 Storm Talons to fly on from reserve. And then Chaplain Titus and the Terminators will deep strike together as well. So a fair amount here to come on from reserve for the Imperial Fists. Okay, so ready to start. Do you want to see his initiative?
I do indeed.
Oh, he does? Right, okay. So we'll let him roll. Oh, he gets a free. Okay, so we will go on to the first turn, and it will be Imperial Fists here, looking for first blood. Turn 1 coming up for them. Alright, so moving for the Imperial Fists here on turn 1. Not too much movement going on, just holding ground here. Don't want to move so that these las cannons can fire at full ballistic skill, so they've not moved. Centurion Devastators just shifting ahead, just getting a view perhaps to shoot at the cultists there in the distance. Shifting around here with this tactical squad, no target really out of range with the las cannon, and obscured there, trying to shoot ahead at the land raiders, so we've shifted round here 6 inches with that, and then getting out of the difficult terrain there with the hunter moving ahead 6 inches. That's movement done. Imperial Fists will be awaiting their deep striking units to come in later on. So we will go on to Psychic Phase next. We'll see what the Librarian can do. Alright, so on Psychic Phase here, I wasn't going to film it, thought it'd be quite straightforward, but we've hit a bit of a trouble here. Invisibility has gone off, but 666 here, so we've perilled and then rolled the dreaded 1. I need to make a leadership test here. We thought we might as well film it just to see. Oh dear, what happens? Oh, phew, it's a 5, right? Okay, so he just takes a wound. Librarian here, headache and nosebleed here as he's tried to conjure up that power. It's the pressure of facing Night Lords, I think, the terror. Perhaps he's heard stories of what's happened to Imperial Fists in the past, at the hands of these traitors here, and the pressure's got to him on turn 1 already. But the power's gone off, the unit is invisible, but the Librarian takes a wound, he's half dead already. Alright, so that's Psychic Phase done. Invisible here. It's a handy, very, very handy power to have. But as to how many turns we can keep that up, we'll have to see. Librarian may burn himself out here in the early stages of the game. So it's pressure here because we're trying to put enough dice into it to make the power go off. This is what Warp Charge 2, but then the more dice you throw in, the more chances you've got of getting that dreaded Perils of the Warp. So it's difficult. It's a conundrum here for the Librarian. Just going to ask him just to cling on and to hang on till the end of the game, but we'll see. We'll go on to shooting phase next. A little bit of shooting here for the Imperial Fists with their long-range weaponry. We'll see what they can do. Right, so on to shooting phase here. We'll see if some early shots coming from these las cannons does any damage against the Imperial Knight just in the distance there, or the Renegade Knight. So this one firing, Bryan's shield has gone up, facing forward, so he'll get his 4+ invuln save there. So the first las can usually miss with these. 5's a hit. And then strength 9, a 1, a 10, so no damage from that one. Fire the second one. Hits just about on a 3, and then strength 9. Ooh, it's a 14, so we've got a penetrating hit here. So there's a half a chance that Bryan can stop this coming through. No. He doesn't, he rolls a 1. This is this new painted model syndrome here. New model comes along and may well gets blown up. But we'll see what happens here. He's not going to be destroyed, but we'll see what we can do. The result here is a 6. Oh no, becomes a 7. D3 hull points. 5 or a 6 here, and the Imperial Fists can... Hurrah! We did get a 5. Wow! 3 hull points here from a las cannon team anchoring the back. Oh look who's with them. Brother Australius is there directing the fire of the las cannon. He's picked out a weak point here on the Imperial, the Traitor Guard Knight here, and has dished out 3 hull points. So it paid off there. Remember, Brother Australius was captured, I think, by the Night Lords, interrogated, but in his time with the Night Lords, he gathered information on them and has gone back into the hands of the Imperial Fists and has shared that information. It's come in handy here. The Renegade Knight is half dead. What a turn up on turn 1. Alright, so spurred on there with the las cannon fire here from the tactical squads. Actually, 2 of these Centurion Devastators are in range with their twin-link las cannons, so we'll have a go. So I'm going to fire both of them here. Re-rolls. 3 and a... well, that might be cocked dice. So Bryan's given that one the go-ahead. That's fine. So we're going to re-roll this one, twin-linked. Ugh, that is cocked. That's horrendous. That's 6. Alright, so 2 hits. Alright, so strength 9 again. Oh, cocked dice. I think that's a 4 and a 5. That looks okay. Yeah, we're on tank hunt here. We could re-roll, but we'll leave it. So we've got a glancing hit here. Bryan gets his 4-up save for that one. These are pressure rolls here coming through. 5's a pass. Alright, so the glance doesn't come through. A penetrating hit, though, has got through here on a 14. This is a big roll here. He's rolled another 1. He's blighted by 1s here at the early stage of the game. Now, if we get a 6 here... 4. Alright, so just a hull point, I think, coming through. Only 2 hull points remaining on the Renegade Knight. Serves him right for turning Renegade. That's all the Imperial Fists can say. So we've got missiles here. These aren't twin-linked, and they both miss, which is a shame. Alright, so... okay, just resolve the rest of the shooting there. Those missiles failed to hit. And then snap firing here, because we moved with the las cannon at the Rhino over there in the distance. Failed to hit. And then snap firing here with the Hunter. He's a bit out of this game, really. No jet bikes, flyers and skimmers to shoot at, which is a shame. So he's a bit redundant in this game. But only 70 points. He's snap fired with the missile there and has missed. So that is shooting done for the Imperial Fists. No complaints from them. No complaints from them at all so far. That's pretty impressive. The Imperial Knight, or the Renegade Knight, has taken 4 hull points already on turn 1. So some crucial results there for the Imperial Fists. They will be encouraged by that result for sure. We're going to go on to the first turn now for the Night Lords. How will they respond? Will Bryan still be aggressive with his Renegade Knight? We'll have to see. It's 2/3 dead now. Hasn't got much of a choice here. He'll have to plough in and press ahead. So we'll go on to turn 1 now for the Night Lords. We'll see what they do, see what units attack and which ones defend. Right, so movement here for the Night Lords. The Renegade Knight pushing ahead, still on the attack here, moving up just onto the crater there. 12 inches move through difficult terrain here with the Chaos Lord on the Juggernaut. Bikers moving through, one of them killed though, dangerous terrain failed, and then an armor save failed as well, so one of them crashed there, weaving through the difficult terrain. Rhino shifting across there. With the chosen Chaos Space Marines holding here. They're all just straightforward to hold the centre there. With the cultists, Rhino just holding position at the back there. Land Raider pushing through in this direction, moving off towards the Centurion Devastators. So that is movement done. We'll go on to... there's no Psychers here actually for Bryan's force, so we'll go straight on to shooting for them next on turn 1. Alright, so shooting phase here, fascinating again on turn 1 here for the Night Lords as well. So multiple targets chosen here from the Renegade Knight. So first round came in, Bryan declaring all of his shooting before he rolled up. Thermal cannon hit here, penetrating hit, weapon destroyed, hull point taken. And then the way we've organised here, these are all combat squads. We have to declare that before the game kicks off. So las cannon team. They passed the pinning test, having to take pinning here because of the penetrating hit coming through. Brother Australis and his 5-man squad pinned. Then over here, the Avenger Gatling cannon coming through, penetrating hits, 2 hull points taken, immobilised here, and then pinned here with the las cannon team. Plasma gun team's okay. So really disrupting the Imperial Fists here on the back line, but still more firing. Coming through from the Renegade Knight. Okay, Storm Spear Rocket Pod firing across. The strength 8 shots coming through just in range here of this Rhino. Hull point taken, penetrating hit. Snapshots only. And then from the vehicle and the crew inside, las cannon team pinned again, failing a pinning test. Plasma gun team okay, but a lot of disruption there for the Imperial Fists, which is annoying for them. Those las cannons doing so well on their turn. 2 of them now pinned as we go into turn 2. Then over here, Land Raider pushing through 6 inches, closing the gap here towards the Centurion Devastators. Bikers moving through as well. They've moved up 12 inches, again closing the range here. So Night Lords on the attack, they're covering ground very fast, and excellent supporting fire from the Renegade Knight. Bryan glad that it didn't die on turn 1. It's caused a lot of trouble in revenge here. So turn 1's finished. The game's definitely on here. I think Bryan's evened it up pretty good. Causing trouble here for the Imperial Fists. How will they respond as we go into their turn 2? Will any of the reserves arrive? They should do, but we'll see what kind of results we get. And where will they turn up? We'll have to see. Lots of options here. Yeah, Bryan hoping for some mishaps. Just to mention the Rhinos here, this one, and the other one popping smoke in preparation, perhaps for some deep strikers to arrive. We'll go on to the second turn now. What will the Imperial Fists do? They're doing better than they usually do in games, but they're going to need a good second turn, that's for sure. The Night Lords are closing in for the kill. to turn 2 here, just come out to put in some reserves onto the table if they arrive. Just to mention the game mat here, the battle mat is by gamemat.eu. They produce these nice 6x4 battle mats. They do other sizes as well. So this mat's called Meadows of War. Nice green one here. So for the luscious or landscape we're doing in this game, this mat's really nice. Still got some nice features and terrain modelled onto it as well. And then you put your terrain on top. The main piece is there, and I've used lichen and some scatter and some stones just to blend it all in. But the mat is an excellent base here for your terrain. Very figure friendly, so you can knock your lead figures over and it won't damage them. And nice and quiet as well for your dice rolling. Nice durable mat. So very impressed with these. But check them out. That's gamemat.eu. They produce this mat and they produce a whole load of others as well. Alright, so Imperial Fists turn 2. Difficult decisions being made here. Reserves coming on. Chaplain Titus has not arrived. Rerolling reserves, but still failed to turn up with him. The 2 flyers have turned up. 2 Storm Talons. I've gone on 18 inches here, ready to lay down some covering fire against Bryan's Lord on a Juggernaut there, and their bikers, or his biker squad. Just holding position here with the 2 Rhinos and their squads. Just holding position there, getting ready to lay down some supporting fire, hoping for a good result with las cannon fire this turn. Then along here in the centre, just trying our best to deal with the threat of the Land Raider pushing ahead. I think we're going to divert our attention with the Centurion Devastator to try and take out that Renegade Knight. Just for the display of firepower, that thing cannot be allowed to go on the rampage in this game. The Imperial Fists have been in a lot of trouble, so it may well cost us units down here if that Land Raider's free to shoot and to disembark with its units, but the priority is off in the distance against that Renegade Knight. But we'll see what happens. Combat squad here, this is actually snapshots only from this squad, and they've disembarked from the Rhino just there, just trying to provide a bit of a screen in front of the Centurion Devastators. Then, and just shifting just a few inches with some of the Centurion Devastators, just so that they're all got a view across and all in range to the Renegade Knight across the table. Deep striking here, bit of a silly mistake really with these. When you roll the scatter dice, if it's an arrow, the unit has to face in that direction. So we were looking to ambush the Land Raider here, would have been a good move, but have to face this direction with a deep strike. They wanted to land there, scattered 4 inches, and the only target for them is the Rhino that's popped the smoke. Shifting up 12 inches there with a Hunter, just skimming around the flank there with that, just trying to distract and cause distraction and trouble for the Night Lords to deal with. So that's movement done for the Imperial Fists. There's a good presence of them here on the table. Still have the Terminators to arrive and the Chaplain. Optimistic here. Usually optimistic turn 1, turn 2, and then it all gradually fades away from there on. But we'll see. We're hoping for another good round of shooting. But on to Psychic Phase first here. We'll see if the Librarian can hold it together on this turn. Right, so just interrupting the Psychic Phase here again. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you've guessed it. We've rolled another Perils here. Trying to put invisibility on the Librarian. Haven't rolled a result yet, but 2 6s. Bryan's not stopped it, so invisibility has gone off. That's the good news. So now, here we'll roll a dice. We get another 1. We're going to pack up early. No, 3, so we'll get a result here. Yeah, it's just checking result there. It's still bad. A wound taken, no saves of any kind allowed. So Librarian is dead. Does the power still apply? It does. All right, so Chris is here as well, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He's just observing, making notes on these 2 armies here for perhaps for future games. But the Librarian is dead, cooked himself alive, trying to bring about those psychic powers. But invisibility here for the last time on the Centurion Devastators. First blood here as well, actually. So, well, I killed him, so I get it, do I? No, I don't know. We'll have to check the rules on that. But no, Bryan gets first blood as well to add insult to injury. Psychic phase done. Frustrating here. There'll be no more psychic phases. The one psyker on the table's burnt himself out by turn 2. So go on to shooting now for the Imperial Fists on their turn 2. Yeah, hang on a second, everybody. Thanks so much, Chris. Has just pointed out here it is a leadership test required here. Oh no, they're not leadership 10. They're not leadership 10. Yeah, well, it's about 3 inches here. Probably 3 inches will take them off the table. So we roll a 6. They're gone. So can you believe this is a game full of You can't make predictions here. We've seen the damage. We've seen the damage here against the Renegade Knight coming through. You couldn't have predicted that on turn 1, and then now could you have predicted the meltdown here of the Librarian, and then the subsequent morale break here for the Centurion Devastators? That's 250 odd points down the drain immediately there. Chris did advise, he says, are you sure you wanted to cast invisibility could perils? I said, no, that won't happen, that's okay. But there you go, should have listened to the Eldar advisor there. So, yeah, learnt a lesson there. If there's an Eldar advisor, you pay close attention. They can foresee things that can occur. Should have listened to his advice. The Centurion Devastators will remove them off the table. That's a deadly blow to the Imperial Fists. Deadly blow. And Bryan is now rejoicing, saying, yes, the Renegade Knight could well survive. So we'll go on to shooting phase here. Less the Centurion Devastators. It's a shame. Lament here. Even the Eldar advisor, tears begin to well up in his eyes. He's seen what may well befall the Imperial Fist later on in the game. We'll see what happens. Right, so on shooting phase here, we're just going to capture this one, this las cannon. It's going to go after the Renegade Knight. I reckon we're going to... Well, I'm going to say I reckon we're going to miss, but yeah, we get 2. I just knew it was coming. So that las cannon's missed from that squad. We may as well snap fire with this one to get a 6, a 3. No, it's a miss as well. Right, so las cannon's missing here. It's going from bad to worse here for the Imperial Fists. We'll plough on with the rest of their shooting, see what they can do. All right, so shooting phase done here. Sad, really, the Centurion Devastators are gone, but we've had to carry on without them. Snapshot here did actually get a hit with the las cannon against the Land Raider, but rolled a 1 for armor penetration, so no damage coming through. Land Speeders firing through, they have destroyed the Rhino, and then Bryan's squad there has disembarked. And then round here, firing through from the Storm Talons coming down, pretty good clearing away the bikers there. Bryan's Chaos Lord remains on his Juggernaut with no damage taken. And then we saw some attempt here from the Imperial Fists to fire at the Renegade Knight, but no damage coming through just there. So not too bad, but their firepower severely knocked down by the Centurion Devastators running off the table. Doesn't bode well for them. Definitely the Night Lords are in the ascendancy here at the moment, and it is their turn 2 coming up next. We'll see what they can do. They have units available to move up quickly and to charge. This could be the turn that they really take control of the game. We'll see what happens as we go on to the second turn for the Night Lords coming up next. Alright, so moving for the Night Lords here on their turn 2. Advancing here, won't be able to charge, but advancing here with the Chaos Space Marines just there against the Land Speeders. Then moving ahead here with the Land Raider, 6 inches, then disembarking 6 inches with the squad there and Khan the Betrayer. He stayed with the unit. Yeah, okay, so they'll be getting prepared to charge, possibly a multi-charge there to try and take out the Rhino as well. Sort of spreading out here, sort of a defensive tactic from the cultists, maybe spreading out a little bit to try and prevent some deep strikers from arriving as well. May well be the plan. Advancing here, 10 inches move through the cover there with the Renegade Knight. Rhino pushing through as well. And then the Khorne Lord on the Juggernaut, they're pushing ahead to assault the Rhino just there. So good spread of play across the table from one end to the other. And we're seeing game breaking down into sort of 3 main areas of interest. This attack here from the Imperial Fists being countered at the moment by the Chaos Space Marines. The attack here led by Khan the Betrayer, and then the fight over here as well with the Renegade Knight and the Lord on the Juggernaut. Bryan, I think, strongest in all 3 of these, but we'll see what happens. We're going to go on to shooting phase next. We'll see what the Night Lords can do as they try and soften up the Imperial Fists before the assault. So just on shooting phase here, the Rhino's pushed up 6 inches, moving ahead. Haven't done the shooting yet for the Renegade Knight. Great model, and the rules are so good for these large walkers here. You can fire at multiple different targets. Nice flexible unit, and despite it being 4 hull points down, it's still able to fire at full effect of all of those weapons. So it's a devastating unit to have on the table. Imperial Fists are right to make it a priority, but they haven't dealt with it, and it's free to fire in this second turn. So Imperial Fists bracing themselves to see what it can do. Alright, so shooting phase done here for the Night Lords. Not too bad. One of the land speeders is immobilised, taking a hull point. We didn't jink, so the rest of them are free to move off and fire at their full ballistic skill. Then down here, firing through with the land raid, actually missed with the twin-link las cannon against the Rhino. Twin-link heavy bolter, 666 on snap firing, so got the hits, but no damage coming through against the Rhino just there. Yes, crack grenade here from the squad against the Rhino. Bryan will still get to multi-charge. No damage coming through from that. Then coming across here, had to jink. Not that it helped us, but we jinked anyway. That was the Avenger Gatling cannon firing through. One hit. Two hits coming through. Hull point taken in the end. And we're on snapfire only with that. Then firing down here from the Renegade Knight, the thermal cannon destroyed the Rhino here, and then just keep failing. Loads of pinning tests here, leadership 8s, but keep failing them. Front squad here with the las cannon failed. One of their number brought down as well. That was a bolt pistol from him. Yeah. Australius and his squad, they've passed their pinning test. They're okay. This one was destroyed. That was fire from the Storm Spear rocket launcher on top, taking out the Rhino. It's only on one hull point left, and then the two squads that got out, they are pinned as well. So frustrating there for the tactical marines here for the Imperial Fists. They've been pinned down by the might here of this Renegade Knight, and the Corn Lord closing in. So that's shooting phase done. 6 inches move there, with the Rhino going flat out. So that's it, just holding ground here with the cultists. I'm going to go on to assault. So you can't assault over here, but Khan the Betrayer can charge, and so can the Corn Lord on the Juggernaut just there. Alright, so on to assaults here. Dirge Caster upgrade on the Land Raider, so no Overwatch allowed from any of these guys, and Khan the Betrayer and his unit have made it straight in. As predicted, really, they've made it in, and as predicted here, made it into contact with the las cannon team just there. So we'll get these combats resolved, and that'll mark the end of the second turn here for the Night Lords. Okay, so combat's resolved here. Interesting set of results. Khan the Betrayer, he brought down 2 of the Marines, and then one of the Marine attacked it, and then the rest of the squad managed to get 2 hull points, so wrecking the Rhino. Disembarking with the combat team here, or combat squad, not pinned, and then here, broke morale, but then we were caught in combat, so the melee just continues there against regular Marines. So interesting result there. So the melee will carry on, and then across here it was a foregone conclusion. Bryan rolled a 5 here for his extra attacks, so 11 attacks there, lopping the heads off of the combat squad just there, and then Bryan consolidating 5 inches, but leaves him open, and no M1 here, and Brother Australius does have that deadly disintegrator gun, so that may well cause a little bit of trouble in the next turn, we'll have to see. So that marks the end of the second turn. It's been eventful right from the start. Fascinating game, this one. Great encounters so far, but definitely the Night Lords in the ascendancy. But the game's not over yet, it's fair to say. The game is not over. So we'll go on to the third turn now for the Imperial Fists. What can they do in such desperate times? We'll see if Chaplain Titus turns up somewhere to save the day. Okay, so movement here for the Imperial Fists. Thinking caps on at this stage, really trying to think how we can try and remedy the situation. Stronger here on the left-hand side for the Imperial Fists for sure, and then a desperate situation over here on the right. So combat squads both pinned. Brother Australia's just holding ground, getting ready to fire across and try and take this guy out would be a good result for them. Combat continues here. Then the combat squad that was just there, they've pulled back and heading off in this direction, trying to draw the Chaos Space Marines away from our objective, which is not being protected at the moment. Then the Flyer's the one that Jink's gone off table. And then the other Storm Talons shifted across, turning and then heading off in this direction to lend some fire support against the Chaos Space Marines just down there. The lone land speeder, the immobilised one, has to stay where it is, moving across 12 inches with the Hunter, and then abandoning the squadron mates, we've headed off in this direction with the 2 land speeders to try and take out that Land Raider. Combat continues down here, and then Chaplain Titus has turned up. He's just there, landing with his Terminators exactly on target to ambush the Chaos Space Marines. So still options here for the Imperial Fists. They're definitely on the back foot, but there's options for them, and if we have a good display of firepower from them, it may be one step towards readdressing the balance in this game. We'll see. We'll go on straight on to shooting. No psychic phase now. The burnt out, charred remains of the librarian is just here. That's all that's left of the psyker on the table. So we'll go on to shooting phase next for the Imperial Fists on turn 3. Right, so on to shooting here. A wound has been taken. That was Snapfire coming across from the plasma gun here. Snapfiring got a hit come through. Bolters, no damage. Snapfired here with the las cannon, no hit. So we're going to capture this one. Brother Australius here with his rapid fire disintegration gun. It's range 18, so I reckon we're in range. Rapid fire, so we're going to get 2 shots, freeze to hit, and then strength 5, AP 2. Bryan has no invuln save, he hasn't paid the upgrade for it. So we'll be on freeze to hit, and then a 4+ is all we need to say goodbye to this. You can't jink, you can't stop it from coming through. It all depends on the skill of Brother Australius. Oh, he's missed with 1.
Oh.
There's half a chance we'll kill this abomination.
God.
5, he's gone, instant death. Oh dear, right, our hearts begin to go back to where they should be. They were in our mouths just there. But the Chaos Lord is dead. He's been disintegrated in revenge by Brother Australius. So Brother Australia said the kick in the teeth, Bryan is saying, is a free upgrade. But then that's your incentive to buy the miniature, I suppose. So good marketing there from Games Workshop. We've got the miniature come through, painted him up, and he's disintegrated a Chaos Lord on a Juggernaut in 1 shot. So excellent there from Brother Australius. Sweet revenge there from him.
It's just going to be pressure.
All right, so good result here. We'll go on to the rest of the shooting. The Imperial Fists, some of them take off their helmets and wave them in the air, giving a big hurrah. That's encouraged them. But then they look up across the battlefield, and the hurrahs soon die away as they see the Renegade Knight approaching. We'll carry on with the rest of the shooting here. Right, rest of the shooting phase finished here. Just carrying on after the success of Brother Australius. So moving across here, firing down with the Storm Talon, Land Speeder firing through, Terminators firing through, bringing down 4 of the Chaos Space Marines. Bit disappointing there. Bryan passing leadership tests. That unit's still there. Melter gun's gone though, so that unit not quite as good as they were before, but not managed to eradicate them, sadly. 2 1s rolled here. Disastrous dice rolling here from the Imperial Fists in this game. 2 1s rolled with the multi-melters, 4 hits with the Typhoon missile launchers, but no 6s to get the glancing hits there on the rear of the Land Raider. So that is shooting phase done. Not as effective at this end, but a good turn up here on this flank. So Imperial Fist still fighting away. I don't think they're ahead though. They're still struggling to regain control of this game. We're going to combats here. Khan the Betrayer continues with his hacking here of these Imperial Fist Marines. So we'll go on to combats next. Okay, so combat's resolved here. Khan the Betrayer wiping out the last 3, but 2 traitor hits. Apparently he can strike his own men and has brought down 2 of the Chaos Space Marines. So two of them gone, and then that's a wipeout. So Bryan's consolidated 4 inches, heading off in this direction towards the Imperial Fist objective. That marks the end of the third turn for the Imperial Fists. They are behind here in this game, not out of the game yet, but definitely fighting to try and survive at this point. We'll see what the Night Lords do next. They still have this dreaded Renegade Knight here on the loose, on the rampage, and then here Khan the Betrayer moving across the table as well. But there's some threats to deal with. Quite a strong Imperial Fist presence now on this side of the table. See how Bryan reacts as we go into the third turn. Coming up next for the Night Lords. So, good game this one. Nice spread of play across the table, and really enjoying seeing the Renegade Knight on the board. Something that towers above even a lot of the terrain on the table. It's a nice feature to have in games like this. And nice clash here, the nice navy blue dark colours of the Night Lords, and then the bright yellow of the Imperial Fists. It's a nice clash here on this table. Nice backdrop for them to be fighting across as well. So, visually, nice game. Morale, not so good for the Imperial Fists, as they've seen one calamity after the other. Brother Australis has given hope, courage, encouragement to the Imperial Fist units just down here. So they'll have a few seconds of encouraging each other before they meet a grisly end at the hand of this Imperial, or not Imperial, it's a Renegade Knight. Renegade Knight, but 2 hard points and running out of options to try and get rid of it. And I reckon if that stays alive for the rest of the game and dominates the table, that may well be too much trouble for the Imperial Fist to try and deal with. We'll see what happens. We'll let Bryan continue his movement here. He's just shifted forwards here, closing the ground here with the Renegade Knight moving across, just doing his other movement here. Alright, so rest of the movement here, the Rhino 12 inches moving around, so starting to move in against the objective here. Not much to stop them. Khan the Betrayer and his squad moving across. Then the Land Raider just pivoting on the spot, so it counts as not moved. And then over here, just some more manoeuvring here from the Chaos Cultist, one unit hovering onto the objective there, and the others just holding back. And then the Chaos Space Marines that were here have shifted across in this direction, just trying to get out of angle from the land speeder just there. So that is the movement phase done. Bryan trying his best to deal with the Imperial Fist threat over on this side, and then a lot stronger on the other side, heading towards the Imperial Fist objective. Imperial Knight dominating the table, at least on that side of the table. So we'll go on to shooting phase next for the Night Lords on turn 3. Okay, so shooting phase done here. Brother Australis and his squad gone. That was the Avenger Gatling cannon firing through. Went to ground, got some 6s, but it wasn't enough. Squad's been wiped out. Storm Spear rocket pod and the melter gun firing through. Just one of the Marines on this squad brought down. They're still there, and they haven't had to take morale. So that las cannon will be back in action next turn. Gone to ground here. Thermal cannon coming through, but Bryan rolling 4 1s on the 4 1s and a 2 actually to wound. So one of the Marines brought down, but they have gone to ground. So not taking out the targets here, not quite dealing with them, but still damage coming through from the Renegade Knight. Shifting round here, so closing in. The objective is just there, so Khan the Betrayer moving in upon that. Spinning around here with the Land Raider. Las cannons firing through. One of them missed, twin-linked. Heavy bolter shot coming through, and the other twin-linked las cannon. A weapon destroyer, the Typhoon missile launcher's gone, and a hull point taken, and that land speeder unit's jinked. Yes, so that is it. Oh no, and we had to make some Terminator armor saves from humble bolter fire coming through. We rolled a 111, so 3 of the Terminators are gone. They're fearless, they'll carry on fighting, but that's humiliating. Those bolter shots coming through, and over half of those Terminators destroyed. That is shooting phase finished. We'll go on to assaults now. The only assault we reckon is here. The Renegade Knight may be able to make it into contact with one of the combat squads down here. So looking at the range here, 10 inches required. We'll snap fire with a las cannon. 5 almost. Okay, so let Bryan roll up here, see if he makes it in. He rolls a 5, so it's doable. If he rolls another 5, yes, he's made it into combat. He is a happy renegade. He's made it into combat. Okay, so combat's resolved here. Devastating stuff. The unit taking casualties here. We lost the combat, busted morale, and ran further on initiative. It took us off the table. And then stomp attacks went across. You're allowed to place them 3 inches apart. They went across into this unit, killing one of the Marines. That forced morale check from them. They busted morale and ran off the table as well. So all the tactical Marines wiped out from this corner of the table. That's an excellent result there for the Renegade Knight. Doing damage here. Scary moment at the start of the game. Almost saw him brought down, but he survived and has triumphed here. Almost single-handedly liberating this flank. So excellent work from him. And he's turned around and consolidated 5 inches. So that is the combat's done. It's gone very, very well on this side of the table. Complete domination now, I think, by the Night Lords, but Imperial Fist resistance continues over here. We'll go on to their 4th turn now. What can they do? Well, we do have a flyer to come back onto the table, but things are looking pretty desperate now for the Imperial Fists. Alright, so movement here for the Imperial Fists, stretching themselves here, trying their best to stay in this game. Some disastrous rolls here, we'll cover those in a moment. But Storm Talon coming on from reserve here, moving across the table 18 inches, trying to catch side armour here on the Renegade Knight. The other one's gone into hover mode and turned right around, gone 12, lining up, is within range. So Bryan has to choose now what direction he wants to face his shield. Does that at the start of our shooting phase. Then along here, the Marines following the Chaos Space Marines here, going to lay down some harassing fire. Tried to move the land speeders on top here and rolled a 1 for this one, so that's the last hull point gone on him, so he died, and they rolled a 1 for the other one. He's got himself immobilised as well, so it serves us right for trying to land on top of the rocks there, but deadly result there. And then come around this side, stuck here with this land speeder. Just wish they would do a tech marine on a land speeder, would be a handy thing. But no such thing at the moment. Then here, we're splitting off here. Chaplain Titus, coordinating his forces here, has gone off on his own. He's heading off towards the cultists. Terminators here, getting ready to charge the Marines, and then moving around 12 inches here with the Hunter. So that is movement done. Imperial Fists stretched all over the table, what's left of them. They're going to try their best here to keep themselves in the game. We'll go on to their shooting phase next, looking for need a really good turn if we're to stand any chance here trying to rescue this game. Right, so on to shooting phase here. Bryan's elected to put the shield on the side armour here, just with the threat of this flyer. So we'll fire this one first. We've got to get through the shield. 2s for hits here with the assault cannon. We'll re-roll this one. 4 hits, couldn't ask for better. Now we want something like 4 6s would be good. Any 6s? Nothing. So no damage at all. The Skyhammer missiles. 3 hits. 5s and 6s are good. There's 1 glancing hit. So Bryan, this is interesting. Bryan needs to make a save of 4+ here. Oh dear, it looks like it's cocked. We'll just check here. Yeah, it's a cocked dice. And he gets a 5. Oh no. Oh dear. The stones look good, everybody, on the table, but they ain't enough annoying as far as cocked dice are concerned. But fair's fair, that was a cocked dice. So the shield is held there against a side attack at least. We'll do a frontal attack now with the next Storm Talon. Assault cannon is within range, just by about 1.5 inches. They all hit. 6s we need. Surely we must get 1. Nothing, so it doesn't go through, not strong enough. So now Skyhammer missiles. This is going well here for the Renegade Knight. Not twin links, just the 2 hits. 6s we need, double 6 would be good. Nothing, so no damage coming through. Bryan can breathe a sigh of relief there as the Imperial Fist desperately try to bring this thing down. Alright, there's a tiny little bit of shooting left to do. Desperate now. Typhoon missile launcher on top here. 2 shots need 6s. There is a hit on a 6. This will go. No shield here. So strength 8 comes a 12. 1 point short there, needing to bypass that armour 13. So holding there with the armour. So last option is the Sky Spear missile launcher coming across. I think Bryan's going to get cover. Definitely going to get cover, right? So he'll get his cover. It's in a 6 to hit anyway, which we do. It's just bizarre dice rolls in this game. Strength 7 and then armour bane. Ooh, 15. So we're going to ask Bryan to make a cover save here. It is AP2 as well, so important roll. at this point. Imperial Fists feeling good before the dice roll's made, at least. Oh dear. I knew that I'd balance. He's done it. Unbelievable. Very, very good. He's rolled a 6 and has the covers saved him there. The missile crashes into one of the rocks. It would have gone through the armour there. It's a scary moment. We might just do a hindsight roll here. I do like to do this sometimes. What we have got? Oh, 1. Just would have been a whole point. Not enough to bring it down. But a scary moment there. Sky Spear missile almost punching through against the Renegade Knight, but it's unscratched. It's been damaged no further in this turn. We'll do the rest of the shooting here for the Imperial Fists. Right, so the rest of the shooting phase done. Nothing much too eventful here. Not firing with the Terminator Chaplain, and the Terminators around there electing not to shoot at the Chaos Space Marines or the Cultists. Not firing with the Land Speeder. And then down here, 2 bolter wounds coming through. One of the Marines brought down, and then plasma hit, but no wound, rolled a 1. So that's shooting phase finished. On to assaults here, and we do have a few at the other side of the table. So assaults here, we're going to charge the Terminators into the Chaos Marines just there, and then Chaplain Titus will charge the Cultists. Right, so assaults here, they've gone ahead. Would you believe it? I predicted it would happen. We have taken a wound here with the Chaplain Titus. He takes a wound from these auto guns, but he's made it into combat there, and then no damage from Overwatch. They've made it into combat. So the idea is try and bury ourselves into combat here so that we're a bit safer from any incoming fire from range. But we'll see what happens. We'll get these assaults resolved. All right, so we'll do this combat here. It's the same initiative for us charging in, so both initiative 4 is a challenge. Brian has to issue one just for the rules for his Chaos Marines. So we'll be polite here, let Brian go first. Wouldn't expect politeness from the Chaos, so 2 hits though, and 4s to wound, nothing, okay. 3 attacks for us on the charge, 4s for hits, nothing, right, okay. Brian can do the rest of his Marines here, they can fight now. Against the Terminators, 4 attacks, just 1 attack each, 4s for hits, and then he'll be looking for nothing, so no blows coming through here. 3 attacks with the Power Fist, 1 hit, 1 kill, and that is it. So it'll be a morale check -1 to stay in the combat. 7. Alright, so melee continues. It may be a good thing for the Imperial Fists there to be safe in the combat. Alright, so Chaplain fighting. Again, Brian has to issue a challenge here with his leader initiative 3, so we'll go first here with Chaplain Titus in the challenge. 3 attacks on the charge. Rerolling here for Zealot. 3 hits. God, he's mad. 2s. It's AP4, right? So the leader's dead and 2 others brought down with the swinging power weapon there, or not power weapon, it's a Crozius Arcanum. Yeah, so Crozius Arcanum there, splitting heads, 3 of them brought down. Brian can attack back now, 7 men left, so 7 attacks, I believe, for them.
That's all we need.
Strength 3, so 5 should survive this. I mean, disastrous here if we get brought down by cultists. 4s for hits, not bad, 4 hits. 5s for wounds, surely not. 2 wounds, oh dear, I'm going to roll these one at a time. Don't get a 1, and don't get a 1. Oh, survived, okay. Rolling a 4 there. So, Brian can do his morale. They might, -3, so they might break. Possibility. We'll not be able to chase them down, but they are very, very close to the table edge here. They're gone. Okay, Brian just rolling 1 dice, getting a 6, and they're away. So he's rolling up his rolling up his fullback distance. It's 6 inches. They're gone. So wipe out here, and we can consolidate with Chaplain Titus. So mission accomplished for him. Dealing with one of those units of cultists. He's a bit on his own. We'll have to figure out where to go now for consolidation. Okay, so just calculating here where best to go. 4 inches rolled for consolidation. We're just tucked behind the wreck here, out of sight. Hopefully out of range of the Renegade Knight, even if he advances. Just keeping out of range of the thermal cannon and the Avenger Gatling cannon would fall just short. That's the plan, at least, to try and keep ourselves alive. If we move out towards the objective, then we will fall within range. Maybe we'll get hosed down. It's just a bit of tactics there from Chaplain Titus. He's done his job there of taking out one of those squads holding the objective, and then just slinked back to wait until next turn. So that is the turn finished, turn 4 for the Imperial Fists. Game's not over yet. They're still on the back foot here. Their attempt, an aerial assault here against the Renegade Knight. It was a good attempt, but failed. Came close, but we did fail in the end. And then round here, some success here, pretty good. And at least putting this objective under threat. So game's not over yet. But a difficult game here for the Imperial Fists, awkward for them, and plagued by bad dice rolls in this game for sure. But we'll carry on here. We're going to go on to the 4th turn now for the Night Lords. Right, let's move for the Night Lords here. Just hugging the table edge with the Renegade Knight, just getting ready to try and destroy these harassing Storm Talons. Onto the objective now. So it is secured now by Khan the Betrayer. Bryan happily sitting on top of that with his unit there. Chosen units disembarked here from its Rhino. And then round here, a ramming attack here against the immobilised land speeder. Realistically, I think 12 inches ploughing through the jungle here and then rolling over the top of the immobilised land speeder that has been destroyed. Round here, combats continue, and then sitting on top of the objective here with the cultist squad. So that is the movement done. We'll go on to shooting now for the Night Lords on turn 4. Alright, so shooting phase here, pretty impressive here. Focus on the Renegade Knight, firing through here, Avenger Gatling Cannon, and a Melter shot coming through. Melter miss, but Avenger Gatling Cannon bringing down the Storm Talon. It's scattered, crash and burn, 11 inches back towards the Renegade Knight. Did hit him, but not strong enough there with the crash and burn result, only strength 6. So that's that flight gone. And then the other Storm Talon in hover mode was hit here by the thermal cannon. Not enough damage coming through there. But the Storm Spear rocket pod coming through and an immobilised result there. So definitely paying its points well. It is an expensive upgrade to take, but seems to be worth it here. It is paying its way by damaging Imperial Fist units. Combi bolter here, firing through from the Rhino. You'd think maybe that's a waste of time at firing, but no. Caused a whole point here on a 6. We couldn't jink because we're immobilised with the land speeder just here. Last whole point taken away. That has been destroyed as well. So sad tale here for the Imperial Fists. Units being destroyed. There's no land speeders left for them at all now. And then here, yeah, snap fire shot coming through here from the Land Raider. Did get his hit and got an immobilised result here on the Hunter, which is a shame. We were moving that in to try and contest the objective here. He's moved all the way around the table, but then has got stuck here at this point on the table. So it's gone from bad to worse here for the Imperial Fists. We'll go on to assaults now. There's none at the other end of the table, but there are there's the continuing melee that will go on just here, so we'll get this one resolved. Yeah, so we'll carry on this combat, ongoing challenge, so we'll let Bryan go first here. Gets his hit, just a regular chainsword, doesn't wound. Terminator Sergeant gets 2 hits, gets 1 wound, AP free, so won the challenge there at least, a little bit of consolation. Then 3 Marines fighting back here, 3 attacks, we need 4s to hit. Nothing, okay, and then we're on to the Terminator with the Power Fist, double 6. Well done, brother. And 2 kills, so just 1 of the Chaos Space Marines left. We'll do a morale check for them. The Veterans of the Long War, so leadership 10, less free.
Their leadership 9, the sergeant want to take on the 10, so leadership 6.
Leadership 6, right, 6 is to hold here. If Bryan gets this, it will continue on. He rolls a 1, that's a good start. And a 2, oh, they hold morale. Frustratingly here, 1 Chaos Space Marine ties up the Terminators. Significant result that. We wanted them to be freed up to consolidate in this direction and then to hop onto the objective, but it's not going to happen. So bad news again for the Imperial Fists here. So we'll go on to their turn, looking very, very desperate now, but turn 5 coming up next for the Imperial Fists. Okay, so movement phase here, just shuffling along a few steps here with this combat squad, just keeping an eye on our line of sight here, just trying to avoid the Renegade Knight shooting and the unit here as well. But just keep them within range just to let off a few shots against the Chaos Marines just down here. Stuck here with the Storm Talons, he's just going to have to fire ahead, or he could swing the Assault Cannon around, we'll see, but he'd be on snap shooting with him. And then down here, ongoing melee there, frustratingly, for the Terminators. And then Chaplain Titus has to be done. He's come out 6 inches. He'll need to roll a 10 to reach that unit in combat, and he'll have to survive Overwatch as well. If he takes another wound, he'll be gone. So he'll go out in a blaze of glory. Or he'll steam through the terrain, destroy that cultist unit and stand defiantly upon the objective, and then die. So we'll go on to shooting phase next for the Imperial Fists. So we weren't going to film the shooting here, but we're just going to interrupt filming, see if you can guess what's happened. The Storm Talons fired through a twin-linked assault cannon. Did get a hit on the rerolls. We then rolled a 6. Bryan then rolled a 1 for his shield. So the shot's gone through. It has rendered. If we roll a 6 here, another 6, it's doable, 1 in 6 chance, then the knight's dead. Bryan's not watching. You're all watching. Bryan's not. He's got his head in his... The 3. Okay, all right. So a whole point taken. 1 whole point remaining here on the Renegade Knight. Well done, immobilised Storm Talon. Now, we've still got 3 shots here with the missiles. Any 6s? We do get 1 for size here. But it's a tall order. We need a 5 or a 6. Oh, a 1. All right. Okay. But well done, Storm Talons. Yeah, I can't complain at them this game. They've been pretty good. They've harassed this Renegade Knight here. Almost killed it at this late stage in the game. Okay, rest of the shooting phase here. Can't ask them already with the Imperial Fist. Plasma gun hit, bolter wound coming through. 2 more Chaos Space Marines brought down, but fearless there, so they'll not run. Scary moment we saw over the whole point coming through from the Storm Talon, and that's about it. We didn't fire with the Chaplain. Don't want to reduce our charge distance. He's not fired, and then the ongoing combat around there with the Terminators. So straight on to assaults now. We'll roll the distance for the Chaplain. Bryan may well bring him down with Overwatch anyway, but we'll roll up here. A 10. Yeah, a 4, right. Not gone for it, sadly. So the Terminator, Chaplain Titus, stumbles and stutters there just near the objective. That's a good summary of the game, really. This Imperial Fist forces stumbled and stuttered the whole way through. For now, chance for an insult here. Night Lord's delighting. Just going to try and Overwatch here with auto guns. And he gets a good display of hits here. Not bad at all, no complaints from that. It's about 6. 5s and 6s for wounds. Yeah, 3 wounds. Come on, Titus. Yep. Yeah, there's a 1. Oh dear. So Titus brought down by cultists. That record of this battle will be erased from the Imperial Library. That one will not be recorded, but Titus is brought down by auto gun fire as he tries to charge onto the objective. So not so good there. The model can be removed. Bryan, you can... Yes, I'll let you touch the model. So that's a nice way to finish the turn. Oh, no, hang on. We've still got the combat to do around the other side. We'll let the Terminators carry on fighting against the lone Chaos Space Marine. Okay, so combat resolved here. No damage done on the Terminators, and then killing the last Chaos Space Marine. And then consolidation of 6 inches. So now the Terminators, perhaps seeking revenge for the death of Chaplain Titus, are now making their bid to try and take control of this objective against the cultists. So still a chance here, if we go on to turn 6, that the Terminators could take the objective here, but we'll see. We'll go on to Bryan's turn now. Turn 5 coming up now for the Night Lords. Right, so moving for the Night Lords here, moving across here with the Renegade Knight on his last hull point, but still able to fire at full effect. Moving through here with the Chaos Chosen there, looking to take out the immobilised Storm Talon just there. And then comfortable on the objective here with Khan the Betrayer and 3 of the Chaos Space Marines still alive. And then just holding ground with the cultists ready to fire at the Terminators. So that's movement done. Land Raider pushing through in this direction as well. Go on to shooting next for the Night Lords on turn 5. Alright, so shooting phase done here. The Terminators are gone. That was firepower coming in from the Renegade Knight, Avenger Gatling Cannon, killing one of them, and then failing a regular 2+ save from the missile launch coming through there as well. So well done. Terminators are gone. That threat now against that objective is over, so Imperial Fists will not be able to claim that. All we've got left is one immobilised hunter just over there, and then the 5-man combat squad cowering just over here. Maybe they're hoping that the Night Lords don't realise they're there. It's just hiding to try and live to fight another day. So I reckon the game's over now. There's no way the Imperial Fists can rescue this situation. Bryan looks strong on both objectives. So we'll calculate points here, get an exact score. Yeah, just calculating points here. So 3 points for this objective, 3 points for the other. That's 6. Linebreaker is scored as well. Slay the Warlord, Chaplain Titus is dead, and First Blood as well. That was a gift from the Imperial Fists when the Librarian melted himself just down there. So 9 points. Imperial Fists did pick up a couple. We do actually get Linebreaker for the Hunter just over there that's immobilised, and then Slay the Warlord as well. We killed the Chaos Lord on the Juggernaut. So 9-2 the final score. A clear victory for sure to the Night Lords, so a successful raid from them in this game. Imperial Fists tried their best. There were some scary moments. The Knight almost dying early on in the game from las cannon fire was a very scary moment. If that thing had been brought down, we reckon it would have been a very different game indeed. And then also the Chaos Lord and the Juggernaut being taken out by Brother Australis as well. An excellent bit of shooting from him with that instant death weapon. But in the end it wasn't enough. The Night Lords have dominated the game from the early stages, and they've maintained their grip. They haven't loosened their grip at all, and the Imperial Fists struggled as they did. They have failed to wrestle the Night Lords away from the objective. So good play from Bryan. Excellent looking army. Very, very nice work there on this Renegade Knight. Beautiful model, nicely converted over to Renegade. But the message will go back. The Marines here reporting as to what they've seen. Renegade Knight is in the area, and who knows what armies will be dispatched to try and hunt down and destroy this abomination before it destroys other Imperial forces. We'll have to see. Keep a lookout for the Night Lords. Renegade Knight coming back again. Keep a lookout for the Night Lords fighting on the channel in another Challenger Scorpion game. But they've earned themselves another victory here. It's well deserved. Good tactics, good army, and they have triumphed over the Imperial Fists here. So thanks for Bryan for coming down. It's been an enjoyable game. Good spread of play all the way across the table from one corner to the next. We've seen action which has made for a very nice game indeed. And there's been areas of sort of mini battles occurring across the table. So it's been an interesting game to play for sure. But Night Lords have victory here. So well done to them. Great game. Thanks for watching, and tune in next time. Yeah, it's just talking about units of the game here. So Bryan's given it to the Renegade Knight, and we're all in agreement here. It's excellent gun platform here. Definitely the hinge this army has swung on. A very, very important unit, pivotal unit for the Night Lords, and it's performed very, very well in this game. It's survived scary moments for it, but it stayed alive and then laid down a blanket of fire every turn. Every turn, the firepower from that thing was very impressive indeed. So excellent unit to have, and it needed to be good. It was a lot of points. How many? 475 points of all of the upgrades, so a lot of points invested, but it paid off. It laid down some excellent supporting fire. For Imperial Fists, Brother Australis, we're going to give it to him, killing the Chaos Lord and the Juggernauts. Excellent result there. But to mention, honourable mention here for the Storm Talons, very, very good unit. To have the like wasps, they're annoying, and they do pack a sting, and they're an excellent supporting unit for the Imperial Fists. So an honourable mention to them. They harassed the Renegade Knight here, and it almost paid off for them. So that's units of the game for both sides.